I like that one better than I do the other song.
I was expecting you to be headbanging when the thing came on.
It's got a little. Well, I was. You missed it.
No, I mean when it came on here, I saw you doing it behind the scenes, behind the curtain.
I'm trying to be a professional here, sir.
Why start now?
I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I do like that one better. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Which I'm not streaming to Facebook anymore anyway because they kept just hitting me with that copyright thing, even though it was BS, and I kept arguing it, and so.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So
as long as I don't interject any random music because we're trying to get you to fix your stuff live, it'd probably be fine because that's where I got the ding last week.
I was gonna say you got a strike last week, didn't you? Because you were making fun of me while I was trying to.
Yeah, I figured it was just you complaining. So
wasn't me.
I'll get him. I'm gonna tell Facebook.
Yeah. Well, how's everybody doing? Glad y'all decided to step out here and join with us tonight. Me and Steve and the Chipmunk are glad to have you guys along. Steve has a new work partner in his shop, possibly. We don't know for sure, but possibly there's going to be an episode of the Chipmunks over at Steve's place here tonight. No comment?
Yeah, there may be a chipmunk. I don't
know. So apparently, Steve's Mouse Patrol does not patrol his shop. So, I have chipmunks, rats, baby squirrels. I have all kinds of animals in my shop. Typically, it's because the cats brought it in here and left it for me. So, it's a little odd to see Steve with live animals running around his shop there. So
I just messed up my microphone. Do I sound weird?
Yeah, you sound a little bassy now. Yeah.
Is this any better?
That sounds more like your natural voice, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I turn this off.
Oh my goodness. So let's see what we got going on. Anybody got any interesting comments so far? EMT said we had 8 minutes to take care of the squirrel. We, from what Steve can tell, he thinks maybe the squirrel escaped.
There we go. It was a chipmunk. So I opened up the shop doors because it's like 70 degrees out and it was like 60 in the shop. So I'm like, hey, let's open the doors and warm it up a little bit. Almost had a bird fly in here too. I should probably shut the doors. But there was a pile of leaves right by the doors, and I was like, oh, I should go grab those. Well, my rake is on the other side of the garage, so I went to do that. And as I came around the shop, I noticed a chipmunk go and run in the shop. I'm like, oh. And so then I came around and saw him kind of dart under the laser tables and such. And there's the access doors right there. I'm like, just keep going, buddy. Go towards the light. Do it. And he didn't. And I don't know where he went. I haven't heard him. I haven't seen him. I did see a chipmunk scurrying across the neighbor's yard. I just don't want to lock him in here overnight and come out to a real mess.
Well, is there any food in there that a chipmunk might want?
Well, the crickets aren't here right now. They're more of a late fall.
I don't know that chipmunks are out chasing crickets. I'm gonna be honest with you. The chipmunks around here typically eat acorns and corn from the chicken pen and stuff like that. So,
well, there's a squirrel walking by. No, I don't think there's food out here. There's like some wood pellets for smoking, but
you should be good. Maybe he won't eat on anything then. He'll just be looking for a way out.
Okay, I had a gerbil back as a kid, and he'd get out of his cage on occasion. No joke, I saw him while he was loose in my room, and he darted under my aquarium tank that has this, light fixture on it. And I go down there to try to get him, and I thought he bit me. He had chewed through an electrical wire as a trap, made me grab at it. So those things get trapped.
I don't know that the gerbil had that much foresight into what he was doing, but okay.
I'm just saying it happened. He's like,
Oh,
I'm gonna lure him in. He's gonna get shocked.
Yeah. So what's been going on over at your place this week? I haven't seen a whole lot out of you. Saw a couple of posts and videos.
Yeah, so let's see. I finished up the review on the Sane Smart. That was the last big video. And I've been working on I moved the Falcon A1 Pro. That's a 20-watt enclosed laser from Creality. I moved that down into the basement workshop and been doing some tests on that. But also playing around a little bit with the UV printer. One of the problems I had and everybody's having is, dealing with the overspray, and came across a post in one of the groups where they were recommending this silicone mat. So I ordered one. It's really thin, but it's kind of tacky, which is nice. So it sticks down to the mat because that's sticky. And then has a little bit of tack itself to kind of hold things in place. But the nice thing is that when you have that overspray, it'll pull right off, and any of the actual particulate stuff will clean off with alcohol, and it's good to go. You don't have to really mess with painter's tape. And it cleans up really nice. So far that's been working all right. So I was doing a little playing with that, a little testing with that, but unfortunately most of my ink is going to expire. It does have a shelf life. And so, kind of like everybody else, I'm waiting for restock, which should hopefully be available. They're a little back ordered right now, but hopefully in the next month or so they'll be caught up with all the Kickstarter orders and such, and it should be more available. So, but other than that, today was a really nice day, and I decided to get out on the bike, so it's kind of just sitting right back here. Put about 28 miles on that today, riding some trails around here, hitting up a few of the old haunts around some friends' houses and such. So I'm a little tired because I do keep it in low assist mode. I actually do want to get a workout. I'm not just on there to ride an electric motorcycle. Yeah. And yeah, no, that was good. It was nice day for it. A little breezy at times, but I enjoyed it. I'll probably feel it more tonight and tomorrow in my legs. But
yeah, it was like 68 here today, so it's cooled off a little bit compared to what it was earlier in the week, but we're supposed to be back in the 80s tomorrow.
Well, we have a warm day tomorrow, maybe even mid 70s, and then it drops off again. Chance of snow in the forecast yet this week. But yeah, that's Minnesota spring for you.
Cool. So we got a couple of questions down here. Like I said, I haven't been up to a whole lot. I did. Some of you guys may already know, but I did end up getting the Eufy, and I've been playing around with it. And that's some of my little test pieces and little projects. And like you said a while ago about the overspray, I've been using pieces of paper. I just cut them out and then put them around the edges of my project to try to minimize it. I was using painter's tape, but I found that my painter's tape actually does grip that sticky bed pretty good, like too good. And so I'm like, okay, so that's not the best idea if you're going to use the sticky bed. It was okay when I was using just the bed with no covering. But now that I put the sticky bed on there, it's a little too much. So I went to just cutting strips of regular paper and just masking it that way. But I do plan on, hopefully tomorrow, I'm going to go to a Walmart and I got to get some supplies, and I'm going to see if they have the sticky bed for the crickets and like what you're talking about, the little mats or whatever. And if I can find something like that, then I may go that route. I've got some silicone mat already, but it's like 1/4 inch thick. Like it's some really thick stuff.
Yeah, the one I've got is like maybe 16th inch thick, so it's real thin. Plus, it's got the grid lines on there. So if you put it down right, you've got a little bit of a limonade. So
yeah. So yeah, so far it's doing a good job. Enjoying it. So it's a different technology. I'm having to learn. I'm doing a little studying as I do testing to make sure I got it going, the way that it needs to be, the way that it should be. Randall Broughton from Mobile. Thank you, sir. Hello. Yep. Steve, Brian saying you should do a meetup since next month he'll live an hour and a half away.
Well, I mean, in Midwest terms, that's just down the street. So, yeah, we're still trying to figure that out. I mean, for sure, we are going to be at the Next Level Maker Conference in Grapevine, Texas. What is it? 26th through the 29th, 27th.
Don't make me lie.
It's the end of August. So we'll be there for sure. But yeah, we've been talking about if we can both get together outside of that and do a meetup. Otherwise,
27th through 29th.
27th through 29th. All right. Otherwise, yeah, we definitely gonna have to figure something out here to do a bit of a get together. Give me an excuse to get rid of a few things too that I can't ship. So,
yeah, well, there's a possibility I may try to wander up that way this summer. I don't know yet. We're going to see. Well, me and Brandy were talking about it earlier. We're trying to sell the kids on it, but I'm not finding anything in Minnesota that they're like, oh, I want to go see that. So we're going to try to find something in between here and there, maybe, and we can.
Do they like Weird Al?
They probably don't even know who he is. I'm gonna be honest with you,
because he's got a song about the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota, and they can go see that. He was actually here in town. I don't know. This was a few years ago, and I was like, all right, this is like COVID was starting to wind down, and we hadn't gotten done much. And he was coming to town, literally like less than 10 minutes away from here. I was like, all right, we got to go see this, and so he did sing that song. But I mean, well, you got to let me know what they'd be interested in. We can find some things.
I thought we'd try to find something on the way, maybe. We can go through St. Louis and see the Arch or whatever. I don't know.
I can give you some better things to see than that up here.
I don't know what's up there. JR said it took over a month due to a hectic schedule. But he finally got through with the artesian review and had a recipient come pick it up today. Yeah, that is, like I said, that and the Atom stack are very, very similar. And like I said, not terrible, but that break-in process was a pain in the rear. But maybe they fixed that.
Yeah, I think JR hit on that too. You got to clean off the Cosmillion like shmoo. Once you get that, it's definitely a good kind of beginner desktop CNC, and as long as you keep your expectations in check. I think it's really hard for you, I, or JR who have a larger machine like the 150s and the Shape Ogos to then go back to those and say, hey, these things are great, because and some of them, like the 4040 Pro Max with the 710 spindle, they're still decent. But when you go down to that, 200 to 400 watt spindle,
300, 400 watt spindle.
Yeah, you really got to ramp down your depths and your feed rates and such. And so they're still capable machines, but you gotta take your time. I was watching. There was so Saint Smart has come out with their 4th axis on their Cubico, and so they've been pushing a lot of like Facebook ads for that. And there was this ad. It was built as an ad for them, but it was someone who was doing like an inlay coaster on the Cubico. And I'm just watching this thing going, this coaster took them all day to make because of all the steps they were doing, all the changes they were doing. I'm just like, wow. Yeah, it was beautiful when it came out, but it definitely more of a hobbyist level thing at that point. So,
yeah. EMT Dave said, what's a sticky bed? It's basically just a piece of, like, in the case of like a Cricut, I think they're silicone, but in the case of the Eufy, it almost looks like some type of like synthetic leather looking stuff. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to be, like polyester polyester car seat material or something. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
it's more of a plastic.
Yeah, it's just an adhesive. It's a semi adhesive bed it's got just enough tack to kind of hold things still and keep them from moving, but not enough to, make it permanent. So there's a message or question for you, Steve. Jared's wanting to know, will either one of you get the IKEA CO2? Have you got any experience with Adam Stack's rotaries? Can't find videos of IKEA master using a rotary.
So funny you say that. Yes, they had reached out to me. This goes way back. They had been talking about it, and they even wanted to send a like a beta unit out, but the problem was it was going to be a real quick turnaround, and it was right around when I was at CES. So they had sent one out for the launch that they wanted to have launch on the 15th of this month. They delayed it to the 20th because they had a lot of issues. Mine has been held up in customs for 6 weeks. But just a day or two ago, I was checking on the tracking, and instead of saying held and delay, it says your package has been released by a government agency. So it now says clearance in progress. So hopefully I'll see that start moving. Unfortunately, it also piles on with a couple other projects and things I have. So I should have one soon to be able to start looking at it. I got to get the Creality A1 Pro done first. But I'll start playing with it and seeing. They did state in their marketing stuff that it's compatible with most of their rotaries. So hopefully we'll be able to give that a shot and see. Now it's not a large unit, so I'm kind of curious how it's going to fit in there. Might be one of those things where you got to open up the bottom and raise it up. I don't know if it has. I know they have the sling bed for it, so obviously they have something to deal with that. So yeah, hopefully this does mean it's finally moving. Just looking at tracking, it hit customs on the 20th of February, and it was released on the 26th of March. So about 5 weeks it's been held up there. So hopefully it's moving. Hopefully we'll see it. And like I say, as I get through the other one, I'll be able to start working with that one and try to get some stuff out on that as well. Because I know they've got their launch going. Of course, I'm not real keen on how they're doing it. They're kind of teasing the price might be something less than, I don't know, $1,099. They're not really giving it up. I think it was a $10 deposit saves you $50-$60 at launch or something. I don't know. I get it. They're trying to drum up the I don't want to miss out on a deal. But I think, in the end of most of these launches, the deal is rarely that much of a deal. So I just kind of wish they would be a little more upfront with pricing and timelines, And I'm not pointing this just at Adam Stack IKEA. I'm pointing at it. It seems like everybody's doing Kickstarters or pre-sale launch deposits to hold your line, all this stuff. It just,
yeah. It gets a little frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
Tim saying, you guys have any opinions on the new X-Tool airbrush? I didn't even know they had one until I saw this question, and I'm looking at it here on their website, and I mean, I guess if it's what if you need an airbrush, it's just an airbrush from what I can tell. I don't really understand the whole, extra bottle thing right there. I'm guessing it has an air nozzle that goes down in there and forces the air out.
That's drawing the paint up through that. That's
and then
the external mix style.
And this is a disbursement, so yeah.
What does that say? $159?
Yeah, it says $157.39. But now it's supposed to. I mean, I'm guessing you get all of these containers and you get all of the paints, and then you get two of the. I guess that's a little siphoning piece or whatever it goes on there. So, I mean,
It seems, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd have to see how much that's the all-in-one bundle, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. So X Tool's trying to, they don't want to be just a laser company. They want to be like the maker company. And that's why you see a lot of these kind of offshoots of things. And they originally started as a robotics, like a STEM company as well. So with MakeBlock. So it's kind of in the roots. And so you'll see things like this. And it's why they have like now a new heat press. I think that also might be a vacuum, like a vacuum bed kind of thing. So you're going to see some things like this. Just remember, X Tools, kind of like Apple, they'll build the same thing and put a shiny package on it and do some cool marketing and try to sell it to you for maybe more than what you can get for it elsewhere. I mean, generally they're very nice. They put some thought into it. They're generally nice looking and nice feeling type things. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but if you're on a budget and you just need the tool, there are often cheaper ways to get the tool. So I haven't seen it until this. The latest thing I'd noticed from them is they're like, they've been pushing now a new heat press kind of thing that I think is multifunction. It might have a like a vacuum forming bed into it, which would be kind of cool. But yeah, I hadn't seen that before. Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Scrolling through the questions there.
Jim Arthur says I'm working on a WizMaker wand review now, a decent little machine for the price point. Yeah, they've reached out about that, and I hit those small machines really hard last year, and I've kind of had my fill. So I'm also trying to back off a little bit on reviews, just getting busier with a variety of things, and I feel like reviews end up taking priority over my own personal project videos because, there's an expectation that's set up there, at least from a timeline standpoint with companies. And then it kind of just puts some pressure on me to focus on those. But I don't like to rush through reviews because I like to make sure that I understand this is truly what the machine is doing and not just like a first impression kind of thing. So I've been trying to back off a little bit just to things I think are more relevant or really cool. And the wand looks cool. It looks great, but it looks very similar to a lot of the other miniature lasers that I've been working with. So I'm not knocking it in any way. I'm kind of like, I'm burned out on those.
And that's the way I am. It's not a shot at them. It's not saying that they're, not valuable tools, but yeah, after you've reviewed so many, simple manual focus XY gantry GRBL 5-watt lasers, it just, the excitement and the fun just kind of wears off after a while. So unless it's something new and innovative, some of the companies that we've worked with a lot, maybe it's a machine that, I think people might benefit from, then I'll go ahead and work one in. Cause I'm not trying to say that I'm above that or anything like that. It's just that me and you have done plenty of small 5-watt, 10-watt lasers, plenty of them. And yeah, it does get a little overwhelming because that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like this past week has been spring break. My kid's been out of school and so forth. And that's one reason why I've been a little quiet. And I've been doing some reviews on some stuff that I typically don't work with. I've been having to learn how to 3D scan. And for those of you that are like me and see all the commercials where it's just like you take this scanner and you just and then boom, magically it appears. Yeah, BS. It's a great technology. I love it. It is cool, the things that you can do, but it ain't as easy as they make it look. So I'm having to learn the tricks because there are tricks to it. There are techniques. There's things that you need that you don't know you need until you start doing it. And so I've been learning that. And then the Eufy showed up. And so I've been playing with that as well and having to learn that because I want to, I don't want to mess the machine up. So I'm having to learning baby steps, like watch videos, understand how the machine works and the processes and the maintenance and all these things. And I'm going to do something. And I told Eufy I was going to do it and they didn't object. that I was a little scared to do to start with is I've got it out here in the shop. I was a little concerned that with it being a shop environment, the dust and stuff like that could be a potential problem for it. But I got thinking about it. I'm like, well, that's what a lot of people, especially if you say, hey, this thing releases VOCs, a lot of people aren't necessarily going to want it in their house. They're going to want it in their garage or in their shop or in their area with other disciplines of tools. And so I was like, you know what? I'll be the guinea pig. I'll see, we'll see if it, hopefully it doesn't cause any problems. I am going to take a few extra precautions. Like right now, I've got the bed taken off of it. I've got the doors closed on it. It's completely boxed up to try to keep the dust out of it. I was running it earlier with the big bed on it. And so while you're running it, you have no choice. You have to open the doors or take them off. But I'm going to make sure that when I store it when it's not in use, that the doors are closed. And tomorrow I'm also going to go get me I'm going to try to find some kind of either like a grill cover or some kind of cloth cover, or if nothing else, I'm just going to get like a little tablecloth or something to throw over it to keep the dust off of it. Maybe even, make my own box or something.
Yeah, I think like a large sewing machine cover or something like that.
Yeah. So, and I've also got another 3D printer coming that, again, I'm going to bring it out here to the shop because nobody sees my 3D printer because it's always in the house. But it's a, A1 open format machine. I got the P2S coming, and I'm going to put it over there somewhere, I think. That's the plan anyway. I got to find out exactly how much room it takes up, but the plan is for it to go over there on that wall. I may have to move that shelf that I've built. I may have to move that out of the way, but we'll see.
Putting it right next to that big dust maker.
Well, yeah, but there again, I'm going to cover it up with I have no, which luckily now my CNC is not the dust creator in this shop. The table saw and the shop saw, the miter saw are my dust creators. The CNC, like my CNC is actually like with the dust collection I've got on it, it does a really good job. Like I don't notice that much extra dust in the room until I fire up the table saw and the miter saw. Those two and the sanders, of course. But that's when the dust piles up.
Yeah.
We'll see.
News fans asking, did you guys see the video where you can refill the UV cartridges with other UV ink? I've seen them. And this isn't necessarily a new thing. I mean, people used to do that with, inkjet cartridges and such. The thing is, you are running the risk of, if you have any problems with that ink, they're going to ask the cartridge serial number and they're going to start looking into it. And you're going to run the risk of voiding your warranty. The other thing is that UV ink it's not necessarily safe to just handle and have out in the open. You don't want to really get it on your skin. You definitely don't want to ingest it, things like that. So there's some things to be concerned about. And that's one of the things they did with the UV printer. And this is the thing that people need to remember. They aren't marketing this to a person who's going to make this into an industrial machine. They're making this for kind of the lower tier people that want to use it a little less harsh. And with that comes some, and they don't want the maintenance. So with that comes some cost. So I'm not saying, I mean, definitely it's something you can do, but there are some reasons why you might not want to do that. The other issue with it is those cartridges have a use by date, and the printer knows what that is. And so you can refill them a few times, but once that cartridge goes bad by that date, until someone hacks them, which I'm sure someone will probably try to do, the printer's going to literally, it'll tell you can't use this cartridge. I've had it happen to me with some of my older ones. It's like, nope, replace it. So, for people that are really worried about that and they think they're going to use a lot, they really need to look at stepping into a more industrial machine. That being said, if you're going to buy the Eufy or the X-Tool one or whatnot, you do want to make sure you use it fairly regularly, or you're gonna run into some problems. So it's kind of an oddball thing there. It's like, this is geared towards the more casual user, but also the casual user is going to have more problems the more casually they use it. So
yeah, it's kind of designed to be low maintenance as far as hands-on maintenance. We'll put it that way. It does its own maintenance, so you don't have to. And if it was going to be ran every single day, it wouldn't necessarily have to have that in place. So I think it's a decent machine. I have no plans on trying to hijack any of the cartridges or anything. If it gets to where I'm printing that much, either I'm having fun and come up with some decent projects and I don't mind spending the money, or I'm doing it as a business and I'm making a little bit of money off of it, and I'll work that into the price of my materials and stuff. So, but this was a picture on a canvas that I printed today of my kids and the dog. So this wasn't the first print though. I've had to learn, when this thing's been asleep for a couple of days and it's been doing its maintenance, there's like steps that ensure your process goes smoother. But I thought that was pretty awesome. Like I don't know if y'all can tell it or not, but like my wife has went and got canvases printed like at the photography, the places in town, like the Walgreens and Walmart and places like that. And to me, this looks just as good as those. So I'm really happy with that. But I've got to figure out how this is going to work as far as some of my projects that I make and stuff like that. Is this going to be something I'm going to be able to use with the lasers? Because like this little canvas frame that I made, I cut that out with a laser. I cut that out with an alien cell. And it's just a little frame that the canvas kind of snaps up in the back of it. And if you wanted to, you could like drop some hot glue in the corners just to make sure it doesn't fall out. Or you could put another piece on the back of it and seal it up completely. But yeah, this was my second attempt. The first attempt, I don't know what exactly happened, but coming out of sleep mode, something went wrong. And it looks like I was looking at it through some like green stained glass. So there was a color that was not, I don't know, something bad happened. so I had to run a quick little clean, like the automated clean on it. And I did a couple of test prints on some copy paper. It printed okay. And so then I ran this one and it did perfect. So, but those are like little learning curves. That's what I told Steve. I'm like, I've learned my first lesson. First lesson is do a little test print image before you put your good canvas in there, which luckily this was actually when it was a little dirty. So no harm, no foul. The second one was actually in the plastic still. So it turned out good. Oh, and this is a picture that I did on white acrylic that I cut with a laser. And those are two squirrels that I saw. I thought I'd share this with Steve. Those are two squirrels that I saw while walking the hill behind the house here the other day. So yeah, they're living in an opening in an oak tree. So I took that with my phone. So, but this is a picture frame that came with a kit some point in time. It had a little piece of clear plastic, but I took some white acrylic and cut to fit it so that you could like change this out. You could just cut different pieces of white acrylic and print on it and put it in there. So just different little projects. More white acrylic. So yeah, it's so far as a rookie, I've made some pretty decent stuff, and I know absolutely nothing about this until I got this machine. So I did watch all of Steve's videos and a bunch of other people's as well. And I've watched a bunch of Eufy's videos that they have on their website. So just trying to make sure there wasn't any tripping hazards that I needed to know about,
Yeah.
There you go. JR wants to know, Steve, any progress toward getting some merch so people can support your efforts? There you go.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'll have to look into some of the other offerings. I don't have necessarily the local places. They want a certain amount of volume to do anything to set it up. There are some places online I could check out and see if
send
they're
it to the
worth
ladies at this and that. They'll do it like they do mine. I don't make any money off of them really, but
yeah, I'll have to look into that again. I mean, the other thing is maybe the next time I order some DTF transfers, I can make up a series of shirts or something and do a few hats and just kind of throw it out there. But it's just really it just comes down to a time thing. I appreciate it though. I mean, I appreciate the support that people want to offer and whatnot. So
hello, hey, what's up, Liberty? How are you? Liberty, what you need to like instead of the L, we need like a picture or something on your YouTube profile there. Let's spruce that thing up so people know who it is if they're not familiar. But good evening to you there. Let's see what we got. Yeah, Brian, Steve keeps saying they have a lake up there that I could go look at, but the kids are wanting to do some stuff when we come up, if we get to come up, and so it's looking like I may have to pay for 2 vacations, one for me and Brandy and one for the kids. So we'll see how that goes. What's up, Ryan? How are you, sir? How are you? Peter says, my wife says Krylon Easy Tack in a spray can. She uses it for her cricket mats when they lose their sticky tack, or she cleans them. Yeah, I know my friend May, and I'll have to get with her. I know she has some kind of stuff in her shop that she sells that you can use to like recharge your cricket mats and stuff. And so I'm going to probably talk to her and see what exactly that is and see if I can't, get some of it. I've got like spray adhesives, but the stuff that I've got is made to like, it ain't coming off. But the stuff she has is made for like sticky mats and card holders and card presses and stuff like that. So we'll see. And it's technically could be considered a glue, Steve. Steve?
Sorry. I was shutting my garage doors. The issue is really as you use them, you have to protect them from the overspray. Otherwise they build up random spots of squares and circles and outlines and muck that it gets cured hard to those mats. And so that's where using something like the silicone, it's washable. And it doesn't stick to it, but it has just enough kind of tack to it that it holds it in place. So
yes, I put the plastic back on this one, but you can see there's a couple of little lines where my paper didn't quite catch all of it.
Yeah. And they make replaceable mats for that, but it's, you can burn through one of those pretty quick if you're not like putting down a lot of tape or masking it somehow. There's a lot of people who actually make some 3D printed jigs to pour a silicone mat that covers that also has alignment things. So there's a number of options, and the popular one is going with something that the UV ink isn't going to stick to. So
yeah. I've seen a couple of pieces of equipment out there that you can buy as like a jig bed or whatever. So
yeah, but what I love about this community is there's those that create things and they offer them up to people who don't want to make it, but there's also those that they make things for the makers to make the stuff, to do the stuff. So there's some files out there on Maker World and such that you got to print like 4 of them, lock them together, pour the silicone into it, and then you're good to go. But so far I've found this one single mat works pretty well for me for everything I've done. But now I need the ink.
Yeah.
EMT Dave's asking any further testing with the RA3 and the P2.
Not lately. I'm trying to get through my crash course in 3D scanning, as well as get my UFI done as well. So, matter of fact, I'll show y'all some of my 3D scanning if I can get it open here. But yeah, I've been busy on that stuff, and then of course it's spring here, so I've been doing lots of outside stuff, getting the yard ready, and it's just been a mess. And then, like I said, this past week, we wound up going down to the river and test driving the boat, to which I found out that I've got a thermostat issue apparently with the boat. So I've got to put a new thermostat in it. I've got it ordered. It'll be here hopefully sometime in the next week or two. And I can get my boat optimized. Where's my software? I am trying to get this stuff to open up my virus scanning software. You have to whitelist everything. And apparently I did not whitelist my 3D scan software. So now I've got it working. There we go. So yeah, so I've been using this. I got the Revel Point Inspire 2, and so I've been doing some little 3D scanning and learning this. And this is an art. I don't know if Yuri is in here or not, but 3D scanning, Yuri makes it look easy. Because this is a dinosaur that I bought at like Tractor Supply or somewhere just as like a little test piece. And I did this thing several times to try to get this good of a result. Now I printed it out. I scanned it and then I scaled it down 50% to save on filament and printed it. And it came out okay. Like it had its flaws, but it came out okay. But this is like a whole bunch of different scans all merged together. So you have to like scan one side of it, and then you got scans of the other side, and then you got to go through and put all this together and clean it up, and you come out with that right there. So I've been practicing. I've been learning. Of course, I've did some, trying to figure out how to make some brackets for some of my, like, these are some of my motion sensors and stuff I use around the property. So I was going to like make a, build this into like a case that I could use to mount it different ways or whatever. So I did some scanning with that. This was one of my early ones. As you can see, lots of problems with this scan, but it's been a progression. So I've been learning this stuff. But I think this was one of the last ones I did. I did this in line mode. It didn't turn out great either. But this is without spray, which is something I'm not used to either. Because normally I have to use scan and spray. But it's just another tool for the toolbox. Being able to use this in file design, like if something's broke and I'm trying to reproduce a part, I think it's pretty handy. But I will say it is not, and I repeat, it is not as simple as it looks on these websites and even some of the YouTube videos. Is like there's some guys that are like, okay, you're going to get frustrated with this for the first 2 or 3 days of using it, and just know that starting out. And those guys were telling the god awful truth, because there was a couple of days that I'm like, I'm just walking away from it. I'm walking away, and I'll come back later. And then that's how I've progressed over the past week, getting better at it, because I do think that this thing has a place in my shop, especially for some of the prototyping for machine parts and stuff like that I do. But I've just got to get to where I'm proficient at using it. And so that's what I'm working on now. And hopefully this week I can get at least a short video out on the Inspire 2 from Revel Point. And then I can move on to some other stuff. But yeah, it's just, I've been having fun enjoying the learning phase of new things, because I do like learning it is part of the fun to me, is figuring it out. Even though sometimes, like you said, you just want to like yell, and it's just like I'm walking away from it. That is still the fun part for me. So there's that. I'm trying to catch back on his comments too.
I have an insect buzzing around my head.
Oh no.
I had to close the doors.
Yeah, EMT agrees with me. He said not so easy. He tried to scan apart, finally gave up. Yeah, there's an art to it. And like guys like Yuri, which I know Yuri's probably had better gear than what I was working with this week, but like me and Steve saw him at CES scanning some stuff, and he made it look so easy. And it's not that easy for me. It's getting easier, but it's not that easy for me. Because you have to learn. It's like you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them type situation. Because there's times where it starts losing tracking or something. You got to know when to pause it and like, okay, let me save that one and then do a scan from this side over here and put them together. Because if you could try to push through, you wind up messing up the whole scan, and then you got to start all over, and it's frustrating because it's like you were like 80% good. It looked great, and then all of a sudden the scanner does some weird stuff, and it winds up looking like an explosion. So yeah, but there's a skill to it, but I'm getting better. But as soon as I get that done, I do have plans to do the RA3 adapter kit from X-Tool, which is this thing. I took it out of my machine because I was using it to cut some stuff the other day. But this is the RA3 adapter thing for the P2. And there could be some improvements to it, but it seems to work okay. But that'll be coming. just got to get around to getting everything put together. And like I said, I've had 1,000 things going on. People say that when you get, when you retire, you're going to have so much time, you're not going to know what to do with it. BS.
I don't know too many people that say that, honestly, but
that's not true.
Jeffrey Stone says, if I'm getting great results burning tumblers at 45 power and 108 speed, but want to go faster, is it scalable to 90 power, 216 speed and get the same results? It's going to depend a little bit on the laser you're using, but generally, no, it's not necessarily a linear result. There's usually a sweet spot, and then any more power is diminishing returns. So you'll want to do some testing. Chances are you might have to slow it. You can jump up to 90 power, like if it's on a diode, but you might have to not quite go twice the speed. It just sometimes that lingering power, the lingering time has more effect than the power and such. So you'll want to do a little retesting to get your speed up. But yeah, I would think if you're at under 50% power, you've got some room there to jump up in efficiency of time and still get quality results. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. It is not going to be linear. So like whatever, just because you're going 50% faster, that's not necessarily going to make that big of a difference. But I would say ballpark, if you say double the power and double the speed, it would get you close. There's still going to be some fine tuning you're going to have to do, but I think there'll be a decent starting point. More than likely, it's going to be a little light. I would say probably 100% power increase to 75 speed would be probably closer from my experience.
Yeah. Because
you do 100%, like say if you're running 50% power and you increase it to 100, but you're running, let's say 200 speed. If you increase to 400, it's going to diminish. So I would say maybe like a 50 speed, 100% power would. But the more you do it, you'll get used to it. Because like I do that a lot with, especially with, because I try to go as fast as I can go and still get the desired look. Because I know a lot of people are like, cut the power down to 20%. Yeah, but you're leaving a lot of time on the table, in my opinion. Now, if I'm not in a hurry, then sure. But if I'm in a hurry, I try to go as fast as I can and get the desired look. Now, sometimes you do have to slow down to get the look you want, but yeah, I'd say probably 50 to 75% on the speed if you're increasing the power by 100%. Like if you're doubling the power. But it's not, like Steve said, it's not linear. It's not like a 1-to-1 ratio by no means.
Yeah.
Because it's just you can only burn wood so much.
Patrick's asking, are either of you guys getting the longer UV printer review? And I see someone else put a comment asking about the Omtech UV printer. And of course, people have asked about the X-Tool one. The answer on my side, and I'm pretty sure yours is, haven't heard from them. I generally don't reach out to companies on my own.
Longer reached out, but we'll discuss that.
Yeah, so I don't really. I'm busy enough with the things I want to do that I don't very often reach out to a company about projects. So I kind of leave it to them to reach out if they feel I'm a good fit and want to engage. Does give me a little more leverage in kind of setting my terms with them that way as well. But so no, I haven't heard about that one. Longer, I mean, we'll see. They've been talking a lot about it. Their Kickstarter was, I think it's something over 4 million. So they've been selling a lot of them. So now we have to see, where they'll be at as far as delivering on them. Kind of the same thing for X-Tool. They've been teasing theirs. It's going to come to the point where they're going to have to deliver it on as well. And seeing some of the headaches that Eufy went through with theirs, hopefully there's some lessons learned there. But I know X-Tool and I think maybe Longer are both talking about dual print heads. So that's you're adding more complexity and whatnot on it. So I don't know when they'll actually be releasing them.
Yeah.
And if they want to reach out, we can talk. But you know, the UV printing thing is cool. And I think if you're definitely doing a lot of customization of products, either as a hobby or as a business, it's something to look into to add to your offerings. It's been a little hard for me to gauge how much I would do because I hate to promise organizations and companies I can do this stuff for you when the ink supply hasn't been available. So I'm kind of waiting for the dust to settle on that with the Eufy. Hopefully Longer comes out with theirs. Hopefully X-Tool comes out with theirs. Gets a little competition in there. Yeah, the OhmTech one's nice. It's more of an industrial one. It has refillable tanks, but that's kind of a whole nother hazard to deal with now of, you know, are you storing the ink properly? How much of a lifetime does it have on the bigger bottles that you're refilling? And so, yeah, it's
if you don't use it enough, do you have to go back and extract the ink out of it before it goes bad? I mean,
there's more proactive maintenance concerns with the industrial ones, but if you're pushing a lot of product, you're definitely doing it for a lot cheaper. So there's some balances there. Basically what I'm getting at is it's not yet a big enough thing for my shop to really proactively go out about. I'm glad I have the one and can use it, assuming ink becomes more available. Then I'll see more how some of the customers are actually interested in it and such. I think there's definitely a market for the products. And if you put your own creativity on it, I think it's just definitely going to take it to that next level with the color on products. Basically anything you've been engraving, you know, challenge coins, coasters, tumblers, now you can add full color to it with some caveats. But yeah, we'll see. If they reach out, I'll talk with them, but I can't guarantee I'd even necessarily accept all of them either, or any of them.
Yeah. Well, Longer reached out to me before we went to CES, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
They were one of the ones that invited me to come to China. And at the time, it was like, you know, it was right there around, what was it? Thanksgiving was coming up and Christmas and everything. And I was just like, no, I can't do it. Then they said, well, we'll send our people to your place. Your studio is what they called it. And I'm like, they obviously don't realize how tight of a space this is. You know, I don't have the room to be housing a bunch of people. And so I told them that I didn't think that was a good idea either. That if they wanted me to participate in reviewing the machine, that I would, because they asked me about that, and I told them I would when it got ready. And so then they told me that they wanted to send me a machine to test, but I had to test it for a little while. And then, no, first they wanted me to do a hype video without the machine. They were just going to like send me some materials to talk about, and then I was going to hype it in a video, and then they were going to send me one when it come available. And I told them I don't like doing that. If I don't mind playing around with it. If I've got one hid in my shop and nobody knows I've got it, and say there's a, like, you know, there's a gag order in place for me not to mention it, I might do a reaction video, you know, because I actually do know some stuff. Even though I can't say I know it, I can do a reaction. But I don't like doing videos on products that I can't touch, that even exist, because at the time the machine didn't even exist that I know of. And so I told them no on that. And then they said they wanted to send me one, but they was gonna send it out. I could test it, but it wasn't fully functional. The software was still having some issues. But then once I got through, I had to send it back to them. And then later they would send me a consumer model. And so I told them to just, if they wanted to send me one, wait until they got the consumer model and send me that one, because I do not like these prototypes, because just like with the ComMarker Omni X, the prototypes are not what the people get. And so if I'm going to do the video, I would rather do it on the one that the people are getting. And that's just because I've had a bad experience recently with 2 prototype machines that drove me nuts. And so that was the last email that we had, was me telling them basically, hey, I would love to try it out, but I would rather have a full production unit that is going to enable me to help other people be able to troubleshoot and understand the machine. Because if the machine I have is different than the machine the rest of the world has, I can't help you do troubleshooting and stuff, because my machine is not the same. So I would rather have one like everybody else has in that situation. So that was the last that I talked to longer about it. Like I said, the machine looked interesting. They did send me some stuff to look at, and it looks interesting. But you know, that was the last I heard, and that was right about the time we were getting back from CES is when they were wanting to send me the prototype or whatever. Was right around CES time. And like I said, I didn't, and I was playing catch up from CES, so I really wasn't hurt that I didn't get it. So.
Kevin Rich is asking if you have another brand of 3D printer than Bamboo, can you use files from MakerWorld? And you can. They offer to download in STL, which would be just the raw model. They do have some 3MF files that it may or may not bring in certain aspects as far as color and flow and other print profiles and such. But if you just grab the STLs, you should still be able to import them into your slicer and then go ahead and set up the parameters you need for the filament and such that you're going to run it with. You just won't get necessarily like their proven print profile for the Bamboo printer that they developed it on. So yeah, I jumped from MakerWorld to Thingiverse to Things to there's a number of them out there. And sometimes it's actually frustrating when I'm jumping between printers because you'll get the 3MF file which has more of the colors and the layers and the print profiles in there, and I'm like, no, stop trying to overwrite mine. So occasionally you might find one that's made a little wonky or was only proven on theirs, but in general you can get the raw STLs and play around.
Yep. EMT saying, can't remember if either of you engraved on PLA or PETG. Yes. You can do it with a fiber laser or a UV. You could use the others, but I've wound up with melted messes with blue lasers and CO2s.
Yeah, those are the fiber IR or UV works best. I was trying to see if I have any here.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you can't because somebody will spend 3 weeks trying to get a good engrave with a blue laser. It's possible you could, depending on the result that you want. If you want a high contrast, like where you engrave black and it turns gray or turns white, you're going to need an IR for the gray look or UV for the white. And that's just like if you're doing black PLA or black PETG, it's going to color shift that way. So it's just, that's typically speaking with an IR or a UV, you're going to opposite whatever color the material is, like plastics, you're going to like opposite it. So if it's white, it's going to turn black. If it's black, it's going to turn white, that kind of thing. Matter of fact, this is my ear pods or AirPods or whatever you want to call them. And I did a little QR code on the outside of them. And that was the same settings I used for PETG, and it engraved it nicely. So, and that's actually my contact information in a QR code. So that when we go places or if I meet somebody and they're like, let me get your information, you can scan the AirPods and get my information. Or if I lose them, there's my information right there. When they pick them up, they scan that and call me and tell me where they are.
Yeah, I use your QR code with all the spam emails I get too.
I hear you.
Oh,
I gotta get used to that Eufy over there clicking.
Yeah, it's doing its thing. Great Lakes Laser Supplies. We got our UV printer last week. Really liking it. I think he followed up and said it's more of an industrial model, a refined color ZZ2C. So I can see you using more of a.
If you're just
one,
turning out, if you're turning out lots of stuff and you're doing, yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it may be one of those things that there may be somebody out there that maybe you start with the Eufy and you're like, okay, I want to do I got a market for this. I'm gonna do a lot more of it. And now you go to a commercial machine, I don't see me doing that because like, I like my versatility and I don't like mass production. So I don't have the room for a big commercial machine either. So
yeah. But it's not. There are definitely others out there. Eufy was kind of one of the first ones to try to bring it more consumer than pure industrial. So let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to roll ahead. So if we missed your question, we're just trying to get caught up and go ahead and drop it in again. We'll try to catch it. So
yeah, I think I'm caught up. I didn't miss it. I probably missed a whole bunch of them.
yeah, we sometimes get like 15, 20 minutes behind. And I like to try to.
Yeah. Well, I saw somebody earlier mention that I finally pulled the trigger on the P2S, and yes, I did. After it going in my cart and coming out and going in my cart and coming out, I finally, the other day, what started it was, because y'all know how Etsy is. Like, sometimes it's like feast or famine. You know, like one week you're not selling anything, and the next week you can't keep them stocked fast enough.
Yeah.
Well, I got hit with one of those waves, and I had people messaging me going, "Hey, I've been trying for 3 days to order this, and you're sold out." I'm like, "Yes." Every time I make 2 or 3 and I put them on Etsy, like literally they're gone. And so I'm in there with my little A1, just printing as hard as I can go, trying to get more of them done. But I can't keep up. Now this weekend rather. I have been able to, like the past 2 days, because it takes 2.5 hours to do one of those Bigfoot with the settings that I've got set up for the A1. So it takes a little while. And so this week, though, luckily, I have been able to get semi caught up. I think I've got 4 in there that are packaged. And my thing is I don't want to put that I have them and put them on Etsy, and then 10 people order them, and I can't get them printed and shipped out in time because Etsy will ding me. So like you can see right here, matter of fact, it just quit. There's the 2 pieces for the Bigfoot. That's the extra large and the standard adapters for it. And I just printed those before I came out here because I've got it figured out. If I time it just right, I can do one before lunch and one after lunch, both pieces, and so that's, between this part and the other part, you're looking at 3.5 hours and then 3.5 hours. So hopefully by having the P2S, I'm going to bring it and keep it out here. I can still use this one in the house and run it because it's sitting there. But I can bring a bulk of my materials and stuff out here and set me up a little workspace out here as well. Because my packaging and shipping stuff is taking over in there as well. It's getting out of hand. What it is, guys. It's getting a little out of hand. So that's the plan, is to bring the P2S out here, leave the A1 in there, because I can't bring the A1 out here. I'll have to dust it every time I turn around. So I'm hoping with the other one being enclosed and me getting like a little small grill cover or something for it, maybe I can keep enough of the dust out of it. That won't be a problem. And then somebody did ask me earlier, do I have problems with my computers with all the dust in the shop? And the answer is it's a concern, but I don't have a problem with it because typically I keep an eye on them. Like my little mini PC that runs the CNC, it's got a little tiny fan in it, and you can literally see the front of it and see if it starts getting too dusty. But I'll power it down and take my air hose and just kind of blow through it a little bit. As far as my main operating machine, I'm running an Alienware desktop PC, and it will tell on itself if it starts getting to where it's not cooling efficiently. You'll know because it sounds like an airplane. Like it'll start, because it's got cooling sensors, and so it'll start revving the fans faster and faster and faster. And so if you notice that the fans are going too fast, then you know you need to clean it. So far, I haven't had any problems with that, because typically once a week I'll vacuum with the shop and get all the saw chips and stuff out of the floor, little pieces of laser engraved stuff. And I'll come through with my air hose again and blow some air through the cooling fins and stuff and get all the dust out of it. So far I haven't had any problems. There hadn't been any heat casualties, but it is dusty. I do have my little dust cleaner thing. I know Steve's got one of these too. The filter box fan or whatever.
I almost rarely run mine anymore, it seems, but
yeah, I have to run mine. If I'm running the power tools and the sander, I turn that thing on. I'll go ahead and take the filter out of it, take it outside, clean the filter if I can. If I don't, I got a box of them. I can replace it. And then I turn it on and do the woodworking. Because I'm usually got my headphones on listening to YouTube anyway.
And, unless you're doing something to really tax the computer, video editing or 3D manipulation, things like that, you'd be surprised how nasty a computer can get on the inside and still operate.
Yeah.
Just speaking from experience, having worked on people's computers in the past, where literally I had one where I opened it up and I could not see the components because they were just that much layer of dust on them.
Yeah.
But no, I kind of the same thing. I've got it tucked away to where it's not going to get just dumped on, but I do try to, all my machines. I mean, the CNC control box, the lasers have the cooling inputs and such on them and such. So I'll try to go around and vacuum and or blow them off with some compressed air and such just to keep it down. So it is it's a concern, but it's something that, in general, try to mitigate. I mean, I also try not to let my shop get to be like a sawmill dust shop environment. My couple of my sons have respiratory issues, so extra dust and such is bad for them. They've come out here over times and worked with me, and just for my own health too. So it's a concern to be mindful of, but they're probably hardier than, say, the 3D printer and the UV printer. Those things that get a little bit of dust on the build plate or on the UV printer, if you have dust build up on the actual lamp and the such, you're going to start having issues really fast when you might not even see it until you get in there with a flashlight and go, oh yeah, there are a couple specks of things on there. So
yeah, the dust isn't that big of an issue when you've got a spinning sharp blade or when you've got a hot fiery laser beam. But when you start trying to melt plastic and stick it together, or if you start trying to spray a resin and make it stick together, it can cause problems. So, but like I said, that's one of the things that I want to do is because I know a lot of guys have all their stuff crammed in a 2-car garage, which is basically what this is. And so if it works in my shop, it should work in theirs because I'm out here every day stirring up dust, making things, running saws. So if it can survive a year out here, it should definitely make it a year in somebody's, weekend warrior 2-car garage. Because I'm out here every day stirring up stuff, running CNCs, running lasers, like you name it.
Yeah.
Making pizzas.
Had enough. Okay, is there any difference between X-Tool S1 white model and X-Tool S1 green? Really just the people they're trying to market it to.
Yeah.
I think they've switched more of their devices over to white for a little more of a crafty, pleasing general color and a little less industrial.
The white bathroom, white kitchen households.
I mean, but I think people look at them as more of a clean machine they might see in a less of a shop area and more of a crafting area. So they kind of want to approach that. But no, they're basically the same. It's kind of like back when they had the gray model D1 and they switched to the red and the yellow. People interchange those parts all the time, and no, they're the fine.
Yeah, it's just a different color. That's it.
Yep.
Creative Woodland Laser Designs is saying, can I use my RA2 Pro Rotary with my Atom Stack A30 Pro 33 watt diode laser? Also, what would you suggest per aluminum business cards, both sides, one side logo text on the other, 400 card order? First of all, the RA2 Pro with the Atom Stack A30, yes, you should be able to, unless there's something about your A30 that's different than the one I've had. You will, however, possibly want to have, there should have been 2 cables that came with your RA2. One will have black connectors, the other one will have white ones. And the only difference between those 2 cables is the center 2 wires are crossed over on one and they're not on the other. Now, if you don't have that cable, most of the time, I believe it still works. It just runs backwards. So you're going to have to flip your graphic or reorient the rotary. But yes, you can use an Atom Stack, the RA3 with basically any diode laser, as long as it's a GRBL or similar machine.
Yeah, I when I originally had it was at launch. That's one of the devices they sent to me early. they actually asked me to test it on other lasers, and so it's probably about 3 years old now. But if you look there, I did test it with an atom stack and a generic laser, and like Clark said, you just got to make sure you got the right cable on there, and it should work fine.
Yeah, this is my RA2 box here. And then, so you'll have, and they come too with these a lot of times. This is the adapter for the old D1 that plugged into the board. But you'll have these little cables right here. And like one of them, you can see where these 4 wires go straight in. On the black one, let's see if I got the black one in here. Surely I got, yeah, here's the black one. On the black one, you can see, well, that make it, oh, there it is. That wire right there is crossed. Like those 2 wires are crossed over. Well, I think the both of them. No, that's the that man. But so the cables are basically identical, except for one of them will have a black, one of them have a white. Like I said, but it works. You got to make sure you set the rotations per the millimeters per rotation, or what's it called in Lightburn? Yeah, it's millimeters per rotation in it. You got to make sure you set that. But other than that, yes, it should work. They actually work pretty good too. I like the RA2, especially if you put the accessory kit on it so that you can adjust the angle. That was my only complaint with the original, the RA2 that used this plate right here. My only big grumble was that you had to like space it up or space it down. You couldn't articulate the head on it, but they fixed that with the accessory kit. And I love that accessory kit. And I done put my RE2 Pro somewhere else. It's over yonder, I think. But yeah, second part was, what would you suggest per aluminum business card, both sides, one side logo, one side's text, and the other? Depends on the look you want to get. Obviously, a fiber would be the fastest way. Would be a fiber if you have one. If you only have the A30, then just build a jig and let them things eat, and then flip them over. have engrave them on one side, and then once you get them done on one side, then put your other design in and flip it over. But if you're doing 400 of them, it's going to take a little while, regardless of what machine you use. And you'll go cross-eyed stepping on a pedal with a fiber too. But yeah, with that 830, you should be able to do quite a few in one pass. I would think you'd be able to do 20 or 30 of them probably at a time. So
sounds like Gerald Grady's building bunk beds for more activities. He says he picked up a Shapeoko Pro 2XL for $1,000 Canadian with bits. He used it about 4 times now, building a double deck CNC enclosure with my 3XL on top and double XL Pro on bottom.
Well, there you go. If you need to mass produce some CNC stuff, he's got it set up, sounds like.
I can only imagine the dust collection on that.
Yeah.
But it's cool when you could, finding those deals on, Marketplace or Craigslist or wherever. It's always good to try to make sure you get a good deal, because sometimes you inherit someone else's problems, whether they built it wrong or they jammed it, drove it something wrong, but occasionally you get a really good deal for something that's almost brand new. So good on you for looking around and finding that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marketplace finds out, Ryan's asking, did you pick up your Marketplace bench yet?
No, I let Ryan know about that one.
Oh, okay.
Now, Jack, what I was saying is typically any of the GRBL machines, you're not going to have a voltage issue. You start getting up into the bigger machines, the Ruida controllers and stuff like that. That's when the mismatched voltages. Some of the cheaper Monport with the Ruidas and stuff like that. That's when there are some differences. But I've used, I think I'm up to over 100 diode lasers so far, and every one of them has been compatible with pretty much everybody else's rotaries. So, but that's why I was just saying, if it's a GRBL machine, 99% of the time they're going to be interchangeable, because they all run basically the same parts. So I got several different rotaries over there. Was you gonna read that one?
You clicked on it.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to click off of another one, I guess. Vidya said I mounted a rotary on my 3D printer. I have a video of it printing on my YouTube page.
Cool.
That's
Oh.
unique.
Yeah, it's definitely fun seeing people kind of combine tools or find unique uses of existing tools on machines. It's kind of like my friend made the rotary jig with just the gantry block for the laser, and then had the rotary fixed in place. You know, that was kind of a cool thing. Of course, now you got all sorts of other fixtures and purpose-built lasers for it. But yeah, it's always fun seeing kind of the tinkering and combining.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna do. I got the rotary with the Eufy, and I really want to do a tumbler, but I haven't mastered the flat part yet, so I'm gonna hold off on that. Maybe I can put Steve on a cup.
Chris Gallagher is asking, any recommendations for converting a 2D pic to an STL file?
I've played around with several of the AI softwares, and just like with any of the AI stuff, it's hit or miss. I mean, some of them look okay. I find that if it's a non-realistic character, like if it's a cartoon character or like something like that, it tends to do a better job than if it's actually a person. What is the name of that software that we met them at CES? Hitem 3D. Hitem 3D is actually, according to them, this is not my information, this is what they told us. They're the ones that are the engine behind the
Xtool,
Creative Space or whatever AI tools. And I used it and played around with some different things, and it like I said, it was hit or miss. But the credits get expensive when you have to redo something because it, didn't quite get it right.
Right.
So it's kind of like playing a slot machine in a way, because you may pull the handle and hit jackpot, or you may pull the handle and get nothing.
It's kind of AI in a nutshell right now on any image.
Yeah.
Even just 2D image generation.
Yeah. Because like I have one, I was like, oh man, that looks great, until I rotated it and it was like something off of Alien. Like the head was like this, and I'm like, oh, the cone head. And so it's, I don't know. It's like I said, all of them are. I know you got Hitem, and then there's a couple of other. I know Meshy. They got Meshy Pro now. I think can do it. Meshy Pro, I've heard some pretty good results. Some people say they got good results from it, but it's hard for me to go around spending money on all these AI tools because, like I said, it's like pulling a handle on a slot machine. It's like you never know. Like what Forrest Gump said, you never laugh like a box of chocolates. AI is like a box of chocolates. You don't ever know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I haven't. I'll be honest. I've played around a little bit in like Maker World has theirs. I've played around a little bit with some of the stuff that the UV printer wanted to do for depth mapping, just to try to bring it out a little bit. But it's honestly not something I've done too much of, so I don't have any good recommendations. I saw one the other day, and I can't remember. I should have bookmarked it. That I think they had like you could get so many free credits a month to play around with it, and so I was gonna mess with it, but I think I've lost it. I'll have to look at my browsing history, maybe find it, but it's
Vectrix got a tool that, like, I will say Vectrix tool did a pretty good job of that AI 3D creating it did the other day, but it was completely AI.
Usually the ones where you can input multiple photos much better, faster, where they're like, okay, let's get front and then side and all that. But because otherwise, you get the cartoon looking.
I wonder if it saved my file. Let me look and see if it saved it. But yeah, I did that. Why am I going to do a code? Oh, these things kill me. So it won't let me do it just straight login. I got to have a code sent to me.
Okay.
Oh.
There's the one. There's the caricature one that I had done the other day.
Oh my gosh. That was not a good one. You need to fire your AI tool on that one.
I mean, what are you talking about? I think it's perfect.
I bet you do. Look like a couple of chipmunks.
Hey, it was a caricature prompt, so
Oh yeah, here's one I did. I was trying to do the 3D. This is everybody's asking about the picture from the 3D image from the picture. This is an attempt, and this is the Hitem or whatever. This is the one that says that they are the engine behind X Tools machine. And is it me or do I look a bit Asian?
Well,
I mean, do I look like I might be an extra in a Jackie Chan movie or what? So,
I mean, it's got the hair tone right.
I mean, kind of, sort of, maybe. I don't know about all that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I did that one, and then I had the other one is the Peach Tower. That's you've seen it before. I was trying to come up with a good 3D image of it. And so I had my drone photos, and I had recently done an inspection for the city on the tower. So I had 360-degree photos, and I dropped in like 3 of the best ones. You can see over here. There's like, these are the 3 photos that I pulled to use because it said I needed a right, left, and a front. And so I put these 3 photos in here. These are drone photos from my DJI. And I was like, okay, we'll see how it does. And it's not awful, but there's I mean, if you know what it looks like, the resemblance is pretty good. But like right here, those relics right there, I don't know what those are supposed to be. The Clanton is only on one location, and it's right there. It's nowhere near a seam in the tower. So I don't even know where it came up with that seam. It's not in any of my photos. It just decided there needed to be a seam right up through there. So that's some of the stuff that, although it's cool if you want like cartoonish looking things, but this is not something that I'm going to be, because anybody that lives around here that knows that tower is going to be like, first of all, why does it have like a maple tree spout right there?
It's springtime. It's being tapped for the
somebody getting the syrup out of that one. But yeah, I played around with it, and like I said, I had a few credits that I played around with, but then my credits expired, and that's another thing that really kind of burnt my toast. Was they sent me all these credits, and I was busy, so I didn't get to use all the credits, and they literally just wiped them off my account, and I'm like, seriously? You just like all those credits? Because I think I had like 900 when I started, and I think I was down to like 600 or something like that. And you just like, boom, gone at the end of the month. And so I'm like, I'm going to need like, what was it, AT&T back in the day? I'm going to need some rollover minutes, some rollover credits to where they roll over to the next month.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the whole subscription model anymore.
Yeah, but
use it or lose it.
But I played around with it because, like I said, that company, like you were there at CES. She handed us a card and said, hey, shoot me an email and I'll put credits on your account. And they did. And I played with it. But it just, like I said, for realistic things, I don't know that it does that great. Now, if it's something sci-fi that you're creating characters for, whatever, it seems like it would work okay. But yeah. Craziness.
Ryan wants to let you know that he's going to need a Steve on the Stein to go with his clack on a cup.
I hear you. Yeah, Jack said I 3D printed a model I made from a pig and put a voice call in it, but the guy looks like a cartoon, and that's what I'm getting. Like that picture. I mean, if you knew who I was, yeah, you can see the resemblance, but it doesn't look like me. Like it looked like maybe like my Asian cousin or something, but it didn't look like me in my opinion.
Think Greek 88 says, love your videos, Clack. I want to get in this hobby business and thought about starting with the Falcon A1. Is it capable for a start?
Well, I mean, I started with a 10-watt X-Tool D1. So, I mean, I mean, if you have the proper work ethic and some skills and ability to make and sell things, then yeah, I mean, if you just want to do it like as a hobby, I mean, the little Falcon, is it a Pro or just a Falcon A1? The A1?
It says A1.
Just, have realistic expectations. If you're going to get a 10-watt laser with a 400 by 400 work area, just understand you're going to be doing 400 by 400, and you're going to be doing mostly engraving. You can do some cutting, but if you start doing a lot of cutting, you're gonna get frustrated quick with a 10-watt. I did that when I had my 10-watt. I got a couple of jobs in that were heavy cutting jobs with very little engraving, and that's when I bought my second laser, because I told my wife, I was like, look, I've got this job, but I'm not gonna be able to finish it if I don't get more power or more lasers, I'm not gonna be able to finish it. So then I bought the 20-watt. So then I had the 10 and the 20-watt running, and I made some headway. And so, to find out if you're going to be able to make a go with it, I think that's an affordable risk, because, I mean, just like with anything, there is a risk that you might not, maybe you lose interest, or maybe the market you don't like, or, whatever. So I think that would be a decent investment to definitely put your toe in the water and see, can you make things with it and sell them? Because the operating software is the same if you use Lightburn or graduate up to Lightburn. What do you think? You've got the Pro, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the A1 Pro that I just started playing with. Now it's a little bit smaller working area than 400 by 400. But overall for the 20-watt, it's a nice balance. It's definitely kind of beginner friendly. They give you the options of using their app. Lightburn works with it. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten the camera working with it yet, but I haven't dug too deep into that one. But even so, it frames well. The autofocus seems to work well on it. And even in Lightburn. So yeah, it's a decent kind of starting laser. I like the enclosure. It gives you the front lid if you want the pizza oven slide-in thing. Otherwise, it's got the top lid. It's got kind of the basic features I'd look for in a laser. Now, I only have 5 hours on it, so I can't really say, does it compare well to other 20-watt lasers yet? Have I found any quirks yet? I can't say that either, but so far it's been kind of a good kind of baseline, has the primary features I'd look for in a laser kind of thing. So
yeah, and Creality is an established company when it comes to CNCs, laser, whether it be a laser or whether it be a 3D printer. Creality's been around. I had the original Creality Falcon, and it was a good machine. So you would expect them to at least be able to do, as far as the dependability of it, you would expect it to be pretty decent. Yeah, Liberty said a little Mr. Miyagi feeling. Talking about the picture, I guess. What was yours?
She also said someone sent me a 3D like backlit carve of myself. It's like scary accurate. Not sure what program they use. I hope you supplied them the picture and it's not just some. That in itself would be scary.
A random stalker.
But yeah, there's some especially when you get into lithiopane 3D prints and some of the carves and what you do. When you get into like the full like 360 head kind of thing, I think that's where it starts struggling a little bit with the sides and the back and getting those stitched together. But definitely some cool things you can make. Replicating people.
Yeah, she said they got it off the website. Her face is out there to get, so it's kind of like mine and yours. So,
I mean,
hey, I've had people message me and be like, "Hey, is it okay if I use your logo to make a shirt for myself? And I'm gonna put your face on it." And I'm like, "Hey, sure.
Well, when
That's
people start
Now, if you
tattooing
start
your face
selling
on
them,
them, then I'll be impressed.
yeah, if you start selling these shirts, then we might have an issue. But if you're gonna put my logo on something for yourself, I don't care. But yeah, it's wild. I could see that. I think I saw the video where she was talking about that. I think it was one of the 3D printed things, lithophanes or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't done one of those. That's a rabbit hole that I ain't jumped down yet. I've been playing around with Vectrix, the 3D generator tool in there. It's cool. It's very cool. I got to come up with some cool 3D carves for. I think I'm gonna try to take a few to Peach Jam this year, and those be my like my premium, my little premium table over here. You know, because normally I try to stay in the $5, $10, $15. Stick it in your pocket and walk on type things, because I find that if people are going to be walking around in 95-degree weather all day, they don't want to be lugging around a big cutting board. So I make most of my money off of like the jewelry, the keychains, the small, take it and stick it in your pocket, stick it in your backpack type things. But I'm thinking I might take a couple of premium products, like some 3D carves or something with me this year. If nothing else, just to draw people over to look at that, and then they'll be like, "Oh, you got these keychains? Well, let me get one of them from you." So.
Well, yeah, and that's the good thing. I mean, it sometimes draws people in, but it also shows them that you can do more than just, the simple basic things. It might get them thinking, and you might get the call back for that commission piece on the bigger things.
Oh yeah, the after event projects is pretty cool.
But if that's all you take, you might be sadly disappointed when you struggle to sell one, versus moving a bunch of smaller product.
Yeah, the last time it wasn't the last. It was a couple of times back. Me and Klein were sitting there, and like it was crazy, dude. I stayed like head down in XCS running the F1, knocking out dog tags, keychains, that kind of thing. And Klein was over there with the notebook, writing the orders down and pulling the blanks and setting them in front of me. And I was running them as fast as I could. And we didn't even get to stop and eat that day. Like it was after I shut the booth down before I got to go eat. It was crazy. But then, the next year, it might not be like that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be doing some UV printed stuff this year as well, hopefully.
Yeah, getting some of that. I've seen a lot of people creating like coasters and coins and such around the 250th, U.S. anniversary type stuff. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of local. Yeah, you showed me one. That's right. But I've seen some others with like the coin based ones and such where they're doing a spin on that. So I imagine there'll be.
Yeah, this is the logo for our Peach Jam Jubilee, which I got nominated to be on the board of this year.
Nominated or voluntold?
Well, I was asked really intently if I would mind doing it since I was retired. But I'm going to be like basically an advisory role as far as my experience, obviously in crowd control and law enforcement, but also with some of the marketing stuff, especially in social media, that kind of thing. So yeah, but that's their logo. I snagged it off their website and took and cut just a little round piece of white acrylic. And I specifically used white acrylic. For anybody that has a UV printer, you'll know, because white materials saves your white resin ink. So it doesn't.
Yes, with the caveat of
if you set it up properly.
Well, no. Like when doing the canvases, if it has like that matte finish, you want to definitely then follow up with the varnish. Because otherwise it doesn't print on the white and you get these like all the ink is that semi gloss or gloss look to it, and then the where it didn't print the white because it was like that's the background color, whatever. It's that kind of that matte primer look. So you in some cases, if your substrate is
I did well with this, I didn't put any white down with this. With the canvas, I took it from 3 passes or 3 layers to 1.
Yeah.
Just to make a transitional layer between the canvas and
that's all I'm saying is like certain substrates like the glossier ones. Now the problem with the glossier ones is you got to be careful about your adhesion. You got to clean it well, or in some cases use a promoter. Otherwise, it'll pop right off.
Yeah. And then, of course, this one, I left the white on this one, and I ran, instead of the 3 passes, I just did 1 pass of white, and I was gonna do the gloss, but I was afraid that the gloss would make it too shiny, and I'm kind of glad I didn't gloss it because it's pretty reflective already.
Yeah.
So it turned out well. But all kinds of fun, cool toys to play around. Yeah, Chris, I've been on the board, in my position when I used to work. I was on the board because of that. And so I thought that when I, retired and was no longer doing that, I wouldn't be involved. But I also usually provide them, with different things. I'm on one of the sponsors this year, not the low tier. I don't know if they've got the list out already, but I'm doing a pretty cool sponsorship type thing with some of the first responders, support crews, and that kind of thing. So it's a big deal here where I'm at, and I'm happy to be involved in it. But I told them that my only catch is the day of the event, I've got to be at my booth. Like, I can't be out there with a clipboard. I got to be at my booth. I'll do anything they want me to up until the event, but that day I got to be out there. I'm going to try to get Klein and Billy this year, both to help me.
I don't know. I'm looking at their website, and they don't list you as a corporate sponsor.
Well, I don't know about the corporate. I forgot there's several levels.
There's platinum, silver, bronze, copper. And
oh no, I'm not in the platinums. I can promise you that. That's like 10 grand. That'll set you back.
Come on.
But I do know
it's for the children.
Yeah, I do know that I am on the list somewhere, supposed to be. Yeah, they sure ain't put my name up there yet. What's up with that?
I'd cancel that check, man.
See, I ain't gonna be. Hang on, let's see, which one is it? Well, I guess I am actually. Yeah, the peach blossom. No, yeah, it's gonna be the lowest one. I thought it wasn't the lowest one, but it is. It's because I'm doing like $500 on the donation, but I'm on the committee too. So they moved them up. It was cheaper than that last year. Jeez. But yeah, ain't no way I'm gonna be up there in that platinum. Them platinum folks be dropping 20 grand. Like that ain't happening. That's your car dealerships and your banks and your utility companies.
Well, you heard it here. Black is cheap.
No, I'm not cheap. I'm broke.
Well, you got to get your name up there, man.
She told him to list me as the lowest next to the 0. Oh me. But yeah. But no, it's a fun time. It's a cool event. I enjoy doing it, and I'm hoping. I'm even been looking. I can't spend the money right now. I've just bought a printer, but I've been looking at maybe trying to get me one of those custom tents. Man, I just feel like that would look cool because my buddy Tim made me like a backdrop that's got the front of my shop on it. It's in one of those. So you can kind of see through it, but it's a picture. So I've got that screen that's kind of got the backdrop of the shop, but I had thought about getting one of those tents to where I could put the logo and the website and all around the top. But then I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. I'll wait till it gets closer to time for the event, and maybe I catch them on sale or something.
I mean, all you really need to do is just buy an orange tent and stick a vinyl clack.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought about that too. I thought about just getting me a bright orange one so that it sticks out, and then if I could get some of that flexible stuff, or get my buddy Tim to make me some transfers or something, and just right across the front.
There you go.
Maybe that's an economical approach as well. So I don't know. I've looked at both, but we'll see.
Yeah, I had ordered one of those, like, they're a cloth banner that kind of screen prints your logo and such on them. My problem with it is that they're hard to get sitting nice and square and whatnot. You almost have to like really have intentioned and such. So I've always usually gotten a banner that fits, the 10-foot span with just maybe like 9.5 feet. So you got a little bit for bungees on the sides to hold it tight.
That's the way mine is. Mine's just big enough you can wrap it. So, Brandy said that the next level was 1,000 and mine was going to be around 700-ish. So she told him to stick me there. But yeah.
See, you cheaped out on that $300 and now you're not on the website, man.
Well, I'm supposed to be on the website. I'm gonna get my administrative assistant there to look into that for me.
Well, they have silver, bronze, copper. They haven't added the and others section yet.
Well, come on now. But now I will say, if you go to their vendor page right there, and you look here, you see this little archway. You can't really see the top part of the archway, but there's this archway right here. See this wood? All of that wood right there was cut on the mill back there. I made this little entryway for the farmers market area. So yeah. So there's clack shack everywhere you look.
Well, you should have branded the wood before you gave it to them.
Well, it's at my house. See, that's the kicker. Is stored right here behind the shop, and every year I have to haul it up there and install it, and then go back and get it and bring it back.
You got the little F2. Go slap her up against that wall and stick some
maybe
fencing by clack.
Maybe I'll put some branding on it this year. We'll see if they use that. I don't think they used it last year.
We know you're not ashamed to put your stickers on other people's property. So
you're the one that likes to sticker everything. But don't worry, if I do happen to show up in Minnesota, there will be stickers.
I mean, I can take care of that for you. I'm pretty sure I have a whole bag of them.
David, I use smoke purifiers to help with the fumes and the smoke. But trust me, I'm usually right there near the food court, and the grease and the food and all that just overwhelms any hint of burning bamboo, because that's the harshest thing that I do out there on the side is bamboo. Occasionally, I might have to do one of my cutting boards because I do take cutting boards with me. And so I might have to do like some black walnut or cherry or something like that every now and then. But those don't sell too often at those events.
See, that's what you got to do is you got to just request to be next to the barbecue people, because now you've solved your lunch issue. You just like, hey, guys.
Last year, literally, I was like right there by them, but I couldn't look up. Like it was just crazy. Crazy wild, sir.
Apparently, you're going to get honorable mention under sponsors.
Oh no, apparently not. They don't go down.
Not even that.
They don't even go down that low.
Anyway. Well, we're caught up on comments. We've razzed David enough about his sponsorship or lack thereof. If we've missed something, now's a good time to drop it in there. And we'll try to catch it.
See? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks real busy.
I think this is when I first got started.
But I know how that goes. I mean, like the year I did the woodworking show, they opened at like.
You can notice the F1. Why is my computer stopping? It's pausing.
I think they opened at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and about 1 o'clock I said I need to go find some water at least. So those events can get busy. So it's something to think about if you're doing them. Is grab yourself like a granola bar or something to bring with just to tide you over. That's the one I didn't eat on my bike ride today. So
there's the the contraption getting set up and everything. So I just think I need a little better tint, like a little more visible tint. The black and white works, but yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I don't do as many events as I did when I first got into it. It's gotten to where I just kind of go for the bigger ones because it's gotten to the point to where I can stay here in the shop and make more money than I can loading up and going somewhere. And so by the time you add in fuel, entry fee, setup time, and all those things, I actually would make less money at an event than I do in the shop doing stuff. So now with Peach Jam, it's a little different. There's enough people at that thing that I can pull in some pretty decent money sometime, and it's fun. So even if I don't make any money, I have fun. I get some really good advertisements. So
Ryan's asking any more progress on the Anycubic. I did post the review video on it, and I haven't. I need to do some shuffling of equipment to get that and some other things set up to run more consistently. But so I haven't done any more with it since that video. But after kind of figuring out some of the manual calibrations and such to get it dialed in, I didn't have any more problems with it. So I might need to print out some guides so that it feeds a little bit better out of their multi-filament system, their Ace Pro. But we'll see. Like I say, I gotta get it set up somewhere where it can run more.
yeah, Liberty saying she needs is she talking about one of my stickers? Ones that you got? I got some bigger ones over here. See, last time Steve was here, I got these made for Steve's van. Last time he was here. So, but I have these. These are the little smaller ones, which I'm running out of. I want to get Tim to make me some more. And then I even have, in case I happen to go by any truck stops or anything like that, I have these. So these work really well for like truck stop gas station bathrooms. You can stick them on the doors. See, he ain't even paying me no attention.
I'm trying to find that photo because it actually came up to me the other day.
Yeah,
but
and then I have some larger ish ones. These are the little semi larger ones. But now that I've got the Eufy, maybe I can make some of my own stickers. I can add some more stuff to them. You
can. Depending on how you're doing it, sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. So like this is kind of how they come out, is that actually when you remove this, there's no border, so it's just kind of nice.
Yeah.
And so I've made a few like that for, just trying to see if I have any on hand, but I've made a few like that for, it's nice when you want to put a logo on like you need a smaller one to put on a tool or a machine, but I think it's still more cost effective just to order in the vinyl ones from other people. So, Jared, I don't know. I know I may have seen it or not, the one that Sam uses. But it all kind of comes down to, if you have enough volume to do something, those things are usually worthwhile. It's kind of like the DTF transfers. If you want to get into product customization and you want to be able to do your own t-shirts, the DTF transfers are a pretty economical way to do it. Whether you want to get your own printer or not, you're going to need to do some volume. But yeah, there's a lot of different options for it. So if you're doing a one-off customization one and you have something like the UV printer to do it, that's great. But sometimes doing them in bulk, I think that's where you might go back to, like, getting them from other places.
Yeah, my buddy Tim at the trophy shop, like I said, I help him out when he gets in a bind, whether it's a project. Like the other day, they had a cutting board. Some lady ordered a cutting board. They engraved it for her, and then she came in and, for whatever reason, decided she didn't want it anymore. And so they had a nice, like, I think it was acacia cutting board, like a 3/4 inch thick acacia cutting board. Because like she didn't want it and they had engraved it for her. And so Tim's like, hey, can you use your magic eraser and fix this for me? Because he didn't have a planer in the shop. So I was like, yeah, give it to me. So of course I brought it in the shop, planed it because it was a 2-sided engraved too. So I planed it, one side was a little deeper than the other, planed it, and then I took a round over bit on the table router over there and rounded it over and hit it with some sandpaper and sent it back to him. So when I get to needing stickers, I'll just go in there and be like, hey, give me 500 more stickers. And he cuts me a good deal. Like he doesn't jack the price up or anything like that. So I deal with Tim a lot. And that's why when you see him, because I am getting such a smoking hot deal from Tim, when I get them like this. So I have to sit here. Like some nights when I'm watching Ryan Ballard's show or something, I sit here with my scissors and my sheets of stickers and I cut them into little squares. So yeah, but the good news is I can get like 1,000 stickers and it's not that expensive for me. So
yeah, I even ordered some of the new channel logo.
yeah.
So I have some of those coming from Sticky Brand, something like that. They every so often I see like a good deal, like get 100 stickers for $25 or something like that, and they're usually like around that 2-inch size. So they usually take advantage of some of those. There are some places in town that might do them, but again, they kind of want a certain volume. So, but Burn Carve Prince asking, is there a MOPA 60 to 100 wattish type laser with a built-in UV laser, not IR, out there?
There's one that's been advertised, but
there's one that's been advertised recently and one that's supposed to be coming out soon. They're more of a module swapping style. So Creality's got their, what is it, the T1 that's supposed to be coming out. We saw it at CES.
yeah,
and
I think that's one.
That has an option for a MOPA, the blue diode, a couple different blue diodes, UV. I thought there was like 4 different ones. I'm forgetting them off the top of my head, but they're modules you swap out of the back. And then what is it? The Lumos Ultra from We Create.
Yeah.
But they have different, like for the MOPA, they have a power module on the side. And depending on which power you get, it's a different module and such. And then there's different power supply input for when you want to run the UV or something like that. So they're kind of built in, but they're still, it's not like hitting a button and say, okay, just switch over. There's some proactive changing to go between the two modes. But yeah, I'm more apt to work with one of those where it's maybe multi-source. I tend to shy away from the things where it's like a combination of a 3D printer and a laser, or even a CNC router and laser, which they can work, but I just feel like the one spoil board on the one does not mesh well with the other. so a lot of times I try to, if possible, if I have the room and the space and the finances for it, try to keep the machines separate.
Yep. Yeah, everybody keeps saying I need to use a laser or something to cut the stickers out. Those are printed on vinyl. I don't know what the paper in the back of it is. So, but what I really need to get, and I keep forgetting, is I need to go buy my friend Maymay's and get one of those little, they got those little things that you put the paper in and just slide it and it just, I need to go get one of those because I see her use them in her video.
Did you say you haven't gotten the laminator and the sticker kit?
It comes with one, doesn't it? It comes with one.
It does come with one.
I haven't got it yet.
Now, if your cat happens to knock it off the table, it might break, and then you'll need to go buy one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it comes with one.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just wait.
Yeah.
Tranquil Mentors asking, can you recommend the best brand of PETG for a beginner? I just got the Bamboo PS1, and I'm doing great with it so far with the Bamboo filaments. Now, I will tell you, Bamboo filaments will work great with it. They're going to work with the settings, the presets. It will work great with it. Now, and there's some people, and I think Ryan and a couple of others in here that might not agree with me. I stepped out on a limb because I was having trouble getting colors that I needed from bamboo, and I ordered some Overture from Amazon. It's actually working pretty well. It's a little more stringy at times. Like I haven't really noticed it a whole lot except on my Bigfoots when it does the orange over the black when it prints that last layer. It like strings when it goes back to end the job or whatever a little bit. But that's probably some temperature settings that I could go in and fix. But it's been working well for me. So, and I'm using it in my Bamboo Lab A1. So
I just threw a link out there. It's actually on sale right now.
What's that?
The Overture PETG.
Oh, okay.
It's like $12 a roll for like the black and such. So
yeah.
So if you want to try some out, now's a good time. I mean, it's not crazy sale, but you're going to save 15%. You're going to save a few bucks.
Yeah. And if you don't believe me, there's my arriving tomorrow. It's some more orange and some more black arriving tomorrow, and then I've got some black and orange that I got in back in February and March. So I'm reordering the exact same filament that I've already bought one time. So it's working now. Long term, how will it hold up? All of that, I can't say, but I've been using it and it's worked well so far.
I've also had good luck with the stuff from Voxel. I had to do a little playing with getting the right print profile with it. They do have some pretty solid recommendations. You just got to make sure you kind of set one up for it so it uses that. So they're a US based company that you can order from. Some people are talking about Polymaker. I've had good luck with Polymaker in general with a lot of their filaments. I don't think I've tried any PETG yet, but a lot of their PLAs, if you're wanting to do like the little chunkables that I've done a number of, they have a lot of like cool colors, matte colors and such, and that stuff has worked beautifully in the P1S and the A1. So,
Roger.
Now, if you're Ryan, you're stuck on the Hobby Lobby filament though.
They don't ever have any here. Every time I go to Hobby Lobby, because of Ryan, I check, and they've never. I haven't found it in ours yet.
I'll be honest. I don't go out of my way to go there, although they're like right next to Harbor Freight. But that's one of those stores that just the people in it.
Well, I go there for
not the workers, but the people shopping there bug the heck out of me because they're like oblivious to anyone else. It's so hard to maneuver through there, and Hobby Lobby has a way of just hiding stuff that they make you look around for it. I'm like, get me out of here.
Yeah. Well, okay. Ryan says Overture is good. I've used a bunch of different ones. Tech Bears is really cheap, and I have good luck with it.
Oh yeah, he's talked about that one too. I don't know that I've tried Tech Bears.
Gerald Grady, are you spraying anything on your bed when you print with PETG? No. I will tell you this though. Before I print with PETG, like if my printer's been sitting there for a while and I haven't printed, or if I printed a lot of stuff or whatever, I will take the build plate and I will take it in the kitchen and I will put some dishwashing soap on it and grab a rag or just use your hand or whatever and just give that thing some love. Rinse it off with really hot water, and that makes it dry fast, and then put it back on there. And I haven't had any adhesion issues. If it ever gets to where I'm not getting good adhesion, if I take it in the kitchen and do that and then bring it back, it always fixes it. So I would recommend, especially like going from PLA to PETG, or if you've been handling it a lot or whatever, because they're and I don't get too scientific, but there are things in PLA that there aren't in PETG that can inhibit it from sticking or cause it to stick too well. Because I've had it happen both ways. I've had one side come loose and the other side had to be took off with a scraper. So, you never know. But if you keep it clean, I've got it now to where I keep it clean and I just twist that plate and it pops up. Every now and then I may have to grab a support and pull it off by itself. But I'm having really good luck. So,
yeah. I use Dawn Power Wash. It'll spray it on there, kind of atomizes it real quick, and then just
Yeah.
scrub it down like you say. Rinse it hot and let it
Yeah,
air
I think
dry.
ours is Dawn, but my wife, it's probably Walmart brand. You never know. It's blue. I can tell you that. Wait a minute. They moved on me. Dave Gatton says, I use nothing but Tack Bear's PETG on my P1S and it prints well. So there's two people. I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to go look it up.
I need to check it out. The King Rune, there's a local 3D printer store. They stock that. I've used that on some of my printers. It seems to be more just dialing in the specific printer to the filament and making sure your filament is dry. Some of them are more picky than others, and making sure your bed's clean. Outside of that, usually it's just a little bit of tweaking in the profile for any stringing and such. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of good options out there.
Harold's asking, has anyone ever lasered a live bullet? Too hot, dangerous? And the answer is yes, that is highly dangerous. I would not recommend a live round. If that's something that you want to do, look around. Somebody near you probably reloads ammunition. If you want one that's engraved to be a live round, you could probably have them provide you with the casing. You can engrave it, and then they could load it. If you're trying to do a live, just wanting to do, say if you're wanting to engrave one, but you want to put it back together and make it look live, there's people that'll do that too. They'll actually they'll basically give you a casing with a detonated primer, so it's inert, and then they'll swell you a projectile into it, but maybe fill it up with sand just to add some weight to it or whatever. But you can make a dummy, a dead round. But just if you have somebody do that, make sure that they detonate the primer or use a killed primer already, because a primer itself can be enough to be a hazard if it goes off. But yeah, that would be my recommendation, is get somebody to provide you with a projectile and a casing with either a spent primer or a dummy primer. Do not do it with a live round. I don't know that the gunpowder would detonate, but if enough heat was generated on the interior wall of that casing and there's enough air in there, it's possible. I've seen them go off in house fires before. So it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I wouldn't do it.
It ain't worth the risk.
I wouldn't do it, because you just never know. But I feel like if you're getting it to that temperature where it can set that off,
But it's brass, though. I mean, you gotta get brass pretty hot.
Well,
and it's not very thick brass either.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't chance it. I would not chance it.
Yeah, it's. I would strongly discourage someone from trying it outside of using a spent casing or a fresh one. But brass is one of those difficult things to engrave anyway, which is kind of where it's like it's hard to get a good effect on it. If you're using a fiber laser, it's more effective, but even that tends to be like more of a white or a tarnish.
Find somebody's got a UV printer.
UV printer, but.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't. I would not recommend that at all, ever. Too close for comfort for me.
Yeah. So anyway, well, Cody made it just for the end.
Woohoo!
Good to see you, Cody. And thanks again for setting out it's one of the shorts I put out. Or was it a Facebook reel? I can't remember. But it's always fun getting a care package from Cody in the mail. So refreshing a few bits that I needed.
Tranquil Mentor says, another newbie question. Can I put PETG in the AMS or should I put it on the outside spool? I run mine in the AMS. I've never heard any reason why you shouldn't. So.
Yeah, no, it should work fine. The one they really don't recommend through there is TPU.
That's the soft, squishy one, right?
Yeah, that's the flexible one. So,
yeah, I don't have any of that. I need to get some. And then I got my new machine coming too, because I could actually put the TPU, which the TPU's got to be really, really dry though.
It tends to be a lot more picky, yeah. But you can get nice flexible prints. Or
could you make a Steve bobblehead with TPU? Would his head do this?
you can make CNC dust boot brushes.
Oh, cool.
This is the one from James Dean Designs. So it's got the magnetic front and rear, and then it has a magnetic drop for the hose and whatnot, and then it just clamps onto the side of the spindle. But yeah, these are 3D printed PTU or TPU. Sorry.
Cool. Yeah, Mark said I made a pair of 243 Winchester earrings for a girl once, just like you said, spent primer with a bullet seated. Yeah, and you can, and if it's somebody that like, I mean, you kind of need to know a little bit about what you're doing, but if you're wanting to do stuff like that, I mean, they sell a hammer that you use to basically unload a bullet. You put the bullet in the hammer, it screws the back of it screws on there, and you just whack it really hard on something, and the bullet comes out the other end. And it's supposed to be safe, but do your research, do your homework. I've got buddies that do it. I've done it. The tools are there, but you still need to do a little research before you start trying to.
You want some fun? Try unloading a muzzle loader without firing it.
Yeah, that can be done as well, but it usually requires a mallet.
It's interesting. Now I want to see the earrings that are made with 50 BMGs.
Those are going to be some really big lobes. Because if it's an actual 50 BMG round, that's pretty heavy. What I had thought about was you could technically 3D print, like if you wanted to do like some decorative something or other, you could technically 3D print. Like you could scan something like that and 3D print it, and with some creative painting, you could make it look pretty realistic and be lightweight 3D printed, for decorations or whatever. But yeah. All right. It is 2 hours and 6 minutes into the live, guys and gals and everybody. I don't know if Liberty is still here, but Liberty, if you'll shoot me an email with your address, I can probably find some Steve Ventari's Workshop stickers, and I think she said she wanted a shirt too. I'll do that as long as you promise to wear it in like one of Garrett's videos.
How did you get some spare stickers of mine?
Oh, I found them all over my shop.
Okay.
I kid you not, dude. I found 2 the other day that I had been here and I didn't even know it. I'm like, seriously? I didn't never find it. And probably still some hid somewhere that I haven't found yet.
Look,
I found them. I was taking an enclosure apart and I found it stuck to the roof of the enclosure where I couldn't see it. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Cody agrees that Liberty should do it, and I'll even do it covert because Liberty's small enough. I think she can wear the black long sleeve ones that I have, and so it'll be kind of like on the DL, you know what I mean? Because it won't like be orange. It'll take a minute for the logo to be detected because they're black and white. So yeah, and then you just like when Garrett pops you into the live, have it on, and that'll be priceless. Oh, mercy. But yeah, the P2S will be here. Okay, Radu said she had to leave. I guess I could probably try to find an email address. I'll just email support at IDC. I don't want to get it. But the P2S hopefully will be here soon. I got a tracking notification, and from the best me and Steve can deduct, I haven't went and looked at my order lately. The best that we can deduct, I think it's my printers, 47 pounds coming from Texas. So hopefully it may even be here this week. Who knows? So that'll be nice. I do have like I said, the 3D scanner. I'm working on that. Hopefully I'll be able to wrap that up this week as well as the Eufy. And it may be a little while for the Eufy because I've got a lot of learning to do on that thing. It's a whole nother rabbit hole. Like this doesn't, like, the XYZ axis is about as far as my understanding of it goes at this point. I've learned a little bit. I've learned, through some of my research and videos, enough to where I can adjust it and get it like it wants to, like I want it to. Like I said, this one picture earlier, they came out with a green tint to it. I'm like, what in the Hades? How do you adjust this? And so then I had to go down the rabbit hole of, okay, I've only had it for like a week. I've only used it for like a day, but then I let it set. And I intentionally let it set because everybody was talking about, it going into the sleeping state and all that. And this was the first thing that I did when I fired it up. And so then I learned you always want to do a little test, something or another, before you go throwing a good canvas in there, because you end up with something that looks like you're staring at it through a pickle. So, but yeah. So I'm learning and working as we go. So hopefully we'll have that this week. What you going to have? You've got the 4x4 out of the way. What else you got going on other than your IKEA is still en route, right?
Well, the 2x2 machine, yeah, that over there. So that's wrapped up for the initial review. We'll see, maybe pull some more projects on it. I do want to do some more CNC content, and that's one of the things I've been trying to hold back on reviews, to jump in there and do a little more kind of like, here's how to do this, here's how to do that, as far as some projects. But more immediately, yeah, I'm working on the Falcon A1 Pro testing. We're going to be doing that. I am trying to finish up a larger project that'll probably be done on the X-Tool P3. So we'll see if I can get that design work done. And I'm also, like I mentioned, took the e-bike out for a ride today. So that's part of my other channel. It's called Ventari Outdoors. It's linked in my description, my video. So if you want to see some of that more fun outdoor stuff, I'm there. And if you want to see more behind the scenes stuff of what's going on here, I've been trying to be better about posting like little small updates on my Facebook page. And I'm 16 away from finally breaking that 1K followers. So
what?
If surely there's a few of you out there that maybe you're not on Facebook that often, but you want to go and just throw me a follow so I can get that number up. I'd appreciate that. Get that number up out of the triple digits into 4.
Oh, you're talking about your Ventari's Workshop Facebook?
Yeah, the Facebook page,
okay.
not the other one.
The other YouTube up to
the YouTube channel. No, that one's got like 60 some, but no, you're gonna get some behind the scenes stuff on both those areas if you want to kind of keep up with me in between videos and such. Those are good places to do it. And yeah, we'll see what comes, but been trying to get through these last couple machine things, and of course we'll see. Maybe that IKEA CO2 shows up. I don't know. It says it's been released from customs, but it's been a long wait. I was kind of giving up on it at some point. So
it may be a sting operation. They may show up with it and like guys in a white truck coming behind it. We've done those before.
Well,
some guy dressed as a UPS guy.
Let's hope not. But yeah, other than that, we'll try to keep the content coming, and otherwise we'll be back here next Sunday.
Yeah. But until then, guys, stay tuned, and we'll try to get some stuff out. Y'all be safe.
See you, everyone.
Have a good one.